You're listening there to the bluegrass band Broken Strings, and the fiddle player is Geordie McAdam. Not only does he play the fiddle, he makes them for buy, and he used to be a blacksmith. Why am I telling you this? Well, this book tells the life story of blacksmith and fiddle maker Hugh Gordon, who lived in Stoneyford in the mid-1800s. The book's wrote in Ulster-Scots by, believe it or not, a body that hails frae West Belfast. Geordie went to meet him.
Now, George, you're in for a treat. You're about to play a real Hugh Gordon violin.
Oh, look at that.
That's a beautiful instrument, as you can see.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Made in the 1830s.
That's
Good man,
lovely.
nice playing.
Lovely tone. I would suit a slower
Yeah.
or a lament. That would be a beautiful tone. Michael, how did you come in the possession of two of the nicest fiddles ever I've seen, especially with the history and Northern Ireland fiddles?
I suppose I was always interested in local makers. As a teenager, I learnt the fiddle, and I actually only had a wee Chinese violin. And then once I got a Gordon violin and I came across these templates and moulds, I started to sort of write the story of his life.
I make I used to make violins. I made 14 violins and done a course with Pete Boardman.
Sure.
And it was the happiest 7 years of my life making violins. And I really, like yourself, I got into it big time.
Totally engrossed, yeah. The amazing thing was, George, that as a young lad, from I was about 12 till I was about 18, I used to come out here fishing. This is actually the Glenavy River we're on, George. But I didn't realise that there was a man just half a mile up the road who had made lovely violins 150 years earlier. And when I found that out, that fact fascinated me.
I'm just looking at your book here, Michael, and you're a rare animal. A man coming from the West Belfast, writing a book on Ulster-Scot, especially about a real Ulster-Scot, maybe Hugh Gordon.
Hugh Gordon,
you know?
yeah. I suppose you're wondering why I went to the bother of...
Why?
I come from an Irish language background. As a child, I was more or less bilingual. I was brought up speaking the Irish language, and the Irish language is a minority language in this country. Always has been since during my lifetime. But also Ulster-Scots is a minority language in this country, which needs to have its status recognised. And they were the unique people, and they had their own way of expressing themselves. I was going to try and recognise the Ulster-Scots dialect that's spoken in South Antrim to make the book as authentic as possible.
But what amazes me is that he was a blacksmith. His hands was always in danger of getting injured.
Sure,
and he done such
hands.
beautiful work.
Yeah, very delicate work.
He went from one extreme to the other. I found out, I started my time as a blacksmith, and my wife says, you'll never make a fiddle, you know, with hands like that, more or less, you know.
Aye. And you play the fiddle lovely, so there's nothing wrong with your hands.
I'm in heaven at the minute. I've heard about this man, I've read about him in books, but can you think of 150 years ago starting out to make a piece of veneer like that?
That's fine, yeah.
And having to make your own tools to do it. Go out into the fields and find a tree, or maybe, as you say, maybe somebody's came along with a little bit of furniture and said, there's a bit of wood for you. It's 100 years old. And he's looked at it and said, yes, I can make a fiddle out of that.
Yeah.
These guys hadn't got a B&Q or a home base to go down and buy.
Right.
You know, they had to make everything. I would have loved to have met the man. I'd loved to have met him.